Welcome back to Spirit of the Outdoors. Fixing to get my rear lights mounted on the back of this Honda Pioneer. I've got them on my Polaris Ranger, and what I've done is I get on Amazon and order 2 of these small spotlights. They come in a pair. I'll link them in the description box down below if you need some. And it's real simple. Now, this rig has already got a rocker switch in the dash. There's actually 3 of them for accessories. So I'm gonna wire these up here, because if I'm doing stuff at night, especially like when I go to back up and you can't see behind you in the dark, I like to be able to flip that light on and see where I'm backing. The next thing is, if you're doing anything at night, you can see what's going on back here. They help me filming a lot. If I'm off this buggy and I'm going to do some night fishing, camping, anything like that, and I need to film at night, these lights help me a lot. So I'm fixing to get these mounted. I don't think there's a whole lot to it. It's kind of straightforward. We're going to get this project done right quick. So the first order of business, I think I need to mount these brackets, and I'm just going to pull all this hardware out. There's 2 lights, 2 brackets. Comes with a Allen wrench. They call it a hex star or hex wrench, but so what I got to do is figure out right where I want it. We want to turn it that way. We want to mount it about right there. So, yeah, I want it up because I don't want it sticking up high. I want it down lower, because if I put my canoe up there, I don't want to be hanging it. So let's go about right there. So I know y'all gonna notice in the next couple of videos when I'm doing projects, I have brought out my old DeWalt stuff I used to do roofing with. The reason is my battery charger quit on my Milwaukee. I've been using them Milwaukees for probably about 5 years now. These, I was getting about 2 years, well, 1.5 years out of these. And the problem with this one is the bit no longer sticks in there. And one of them, the other one that done that, I would lock it. I took it apart and rebuilt it. And I just got tired working on them. I went to Milwaukee, but I've got to order me another battery charger for that. So y'all gonna see a change. Somebody says, "Oh, you swapped over." No, I have not. I don't have a problem with DeWalt stuff. I do think Milwaukee is better. My dad disagrees with me. Oh, I gotta have a different drill bit. Or either waller this hole out. It's hard to waller a hole out when the bit keeps falling out of your gun. Oh, but we gonna get it. Yes, sir. Well, we finna have to get a little more serious with the tools. I'm gonna have to thread that in there. I'm imagining this is metric, ain't it? 14 millimeter. Yep, 14 millimeter. So I've got a thing here that'll go in there, and you don't have to pull that lever no more. You just stick that in there like that, and it'll. All right, now quit flopping out. I'm gonna drop everything, ain't I? It seems like for this whole week, I wanted to fish, and this whole week I have been working on projects. Let me get me a crescent ring. But if you don't stop, take time, and get all the projects done, they keep piling up, and then you... Now why, pray tell me, is that doing that? It has got a, I'll show you what I'm dealing with. I know somebody's questioning that really hard. On this bracket inside there, you see them two raised. That is for when that nut goes in there, it can't spin on you. And you can tighten down this other. So it's a good thing, but it wouldn't let me run it up with my ring. Know what I mean, Vern? So y'all, right now, the biggest reason I'm doing some of this, number one, deer season coming up, loading game, hauling deer out of the woods late in the evening, such as that kind of stuff. But I have got some catfishing I want to do, tight line hand pole fishing that I want to do late in the evening and into the night. So as it starts getting dark earlier, it's the optimal time to be doing that sort of thing. So that is my big goal right now. I probably should have this next one. We're gonna be a little smarter about it. Watch this. Every now and then I win one. So you got to take your nut, put your lock washer, and your flat washer. Now do be slow about it. Don't cross thread it. That's a booger if you do that. When I get them all in there, I'll tighten it up then. This part. And I may need to angle that down just a hair. We'll see how it shines when we get it in the dark. I can loosen that up real easy. All right, now I have got to bring these wires. I want to zip tie them, but I need to wait till I hook to them. But I have got to run these all the way into the switch. I think the switch is already powered. So I'm gonna measure. I would love to run them inside that cube, but I don't really think I can. I think I'm just gonna have to I think right there I can go in. I'm gonna just make sure I cut me plenty off right here. And then I'm gonna get me another amount, same length. I know I got more than enough. And wire ain't cheap by no means, but doggone. I don't want no more splits and connections in it than necessary, so. All right. Should be through with that. I think I'm gonna try to run it all before and I'm trying to keep the red on the red, so I will see how that works. I think right there I can come inside. Over that. We're gonna zip tie all this stuff up tight and good and well, and yeah. All right. Make sure y'all look at what I'm doing. That way y'all think I'm be faking stuff. I don't know what you could possibly fake right here. I find out there's a lot of people on YouTube be faking stuff. It baffles me that they don't think it. Which I guess a lot of people don't know it, can't catch it. I see it though. I mean, I look at it and I'm like, no. What I need, I don't even need them. All I gotta do is what I'm doing, y'all. We just need to stick that in there and that in there and just crimp the far out of it. I don't know what I was doing. I was fixing to get me some more. I don't know. Old brain done burn up. Oh, now you get right back in there. Oh. That dog of mine in yonder, I'm mighty excited, I think. Get all this stuff in here secure to where if something goes south and hangs it, it can't jerk it all loose. I don't want no bunch of stuff flopping around in here. There's a corner right there. I can go down into there. Now my next problem is once I go down into there, I don't know what my chances are. I see my stuff over there. But getting my hand off in there without taking all of this off. So let's see. No sir, he's no. Oh yeah, there he is too. Come on now, come on, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle with it, wiggle with it. Come on, come on. Oh, I touched one of them, I touched one. I got one of them. Take all that apart. Oh, I got them both. I got them both, baby. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm calling that a win for today, boys. I'm calling that a win. Oh, we got way more than we need in here. I'm gonna bring this up and we're gonna kind of leave it laying loose in there in case something happens and we need to pull that switch out. So I have pulled this switch out. Let me get my wires. I have not looked at the back side of this. I have no idea what come on, give me more slack than that now. I was finna say, if they didn't give me more slack than that, I was gonna be madder than a wet hen. So I may not even need to hook to this. I don't even hook to that. The switch is just there. Okay, well we got to figure out now what to do out here. Just so y'all are aware, there's nothing there. There's what the back side of that looks like, in case you was wondering. So you can stick that back in there, basically. Now I do know on my boat, when I have wired these lights up, I have drilled the ground right there by the lights. On this machine, It's brand new. I didn't want to drill and put no hole back there and just screw down to the wire down to the frame back there. I want to bring it up here and actually hook. And the reason I don't want to do that is I have seen that work loose back there. I want to actually hook these lights in the ground because it'll make them lights flicker and stuff like that. So that is my reason for that. I've got to figure out what I got to do now to hook this up. I'm sure there is a proper way of doing it, so I'm fixing to have to get my manual out and do some reading. Okay, after a little bit of a research, them switches, the wires come to right here, and then they go right there, and they're taped to a dummy plug that's looped. So I got to unwrap all this blue tape, and then I got to wire into those switches right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hook my ground to the ground somewhere, and then I gotta go into that switch, and then out of that switch into power. And I wanna go into that fuse block. So there is my fuse block, and I'm gonna wire into it at somewhere so that I'm fused. So first order of business is let's get this untaped, and I don't know where the end of that is. There's no hope of me finding that, I'm sure. So let's find us a good pocket knife. We'll go to whittling. Took my Buck Langford today. I'm gonna be really careful. I don't want to cut no wires. I watched some videos on YouTube, and man, I'm gonna tell y'all, people talk about the way I talk. This fella I watched, I'm talking about, he talk like this, so it sounded like he was talking fast, and he didn't more know what he was talking about, but he did figure out what we was doing. So I mean, I learned something from him. But my Lord, I'd like to never made it through that video. I don't want to hear nobody griping about how I talk no more. My Lord. I don't need all that loose. I want this one blue and white in right here. That's what I want. I'm going to show you what they did. All right, here we go. We got it out. Turn the camera. You see that loop right there? I got to split that and wire to that, and I'll be wired into that accessory switch. This right here, you got 3 of them. There's the other one. They just taped them. I mean, they did you a good thing, but you got to do your own wiring. And you can order a harness that'll just plug into there, but we're going to do our own. Okay, I got everything wired into my switch right here. I need to get some zip ties and clean that up, but before I do, I want to make sure everything works back here. So I probably have to cut the key on, I don't know. No, they come on without the key on. That is what I actually wanted, because I don't want to have to sit there with the key on while I'm fishing and running lights. That's personal preference. You may be different and have a different set of what you're doing with yours. So a lot of people want theirs to go off when the key goes off so they don't forget and leave them on. So, you know, to each their own, do what works for you, but hey, it does work. I'm happy. Now I need to zip tie up some stuff here. So y'all, I'm in there editing the video and realize that the clip where I'm turning the lights on, you can't even see the clip. So Brody, come up in here, help Daddy. You flip the light switch on in there, and I'm gonna film the lights coming on and off. Look, you climb up here. We loaded up. We fixing to go get some corn, go put feeders out at deer camp. We got all that loaded up. All right, get in there. You see them 3 switches? When I tell you, you turn this one on. Wait till I tell you. All right, turn it on. There. So y'all see we do have lights. There you go, look at that. Turn them off. All right, good deal. All right, I got all this stuff zip tied up in there neat, nice and neat. Get that down on there good. I gotta clean up my other stuff, but hey, y'all, we got lights at work back here now. We can go night fishing. Thank y'all for watching Spirit of the Outdoors. Remember, the best way to do things, the way you like to do it. We'll see y'all. Y'all have a good one.